dear soul, when the world becomes silent not just outside, but within you. And in that sacred silence, you dream, but not all dreams are mere wanderings of the mind. Some are whispers from the divine, some are gentle nudges from the unseen, and some are messages meant only for the chosen one. Now, before we begin, sit with me, close your eyes if you must, let go of the rush, the noise, the ache of the day. You are here, and that is no accident. Let us walk together through 7 sacred dreams that God uses to reach you in the stillness of the night. These are not just symbols, they are signs. And once you recognize them, you'll never see your dreams the same. Way again. 1. The dream of falling. A wake-up call from the soul when you dream of falling endlessly, helplessly. It's not just fear. It's not just anxiety, it's your soul crying out. You are drifting from your purpose. I once met a young farmer in the hills of Nepal. Every night, he dreamt of tumbling down cliffs. And every morning, he woke sweating, heart racing, unsure why, until he sat with me under this very tree, and I asked him gently, "What are you ignoring in your waking life?" He broke into tears. He had abandoned his gift. He was a poet at heart, suffocating in silence. God speaks through the fall, not to scare you, but to shake you gently back to yourself. 2. The dream of water. Emotions you've hidden too long. When you dream of water, still lakes, raging storms, endless oceans, you are being shown what you will not speak. Water is the mirror of your soul. Calm waters show peace, turbulent tides reveal buried pain. Do you recall such a dream? Where you were drowning, or bathing in a river, or standing in rain? That was not fantasy. That was your divine mirror. One elderly woman came to me once. Decades ago, she dreamt of a flood consuming her village. We talked slowly. She had held unforgiveness in her heart for over 40 years. And when she finally wept, the dream stopped. 3. The dream of a lost path. The divine calling you home. To be lost in a dream, wandering unfamiliar streets, endless corridors, foreign lands. It is the voice of God reminding you. You have strayed, but it is never a punishment. It is a pull, a magnetic return. You are being guided home to the truth you've buried beneath ambition, comparison, or fear. I, too, had this dream once long ago, a labyrinth I could not escape, doors that led to nowhere, and in the center, a mirror with no reflection. I woke shaken. And only after years of meditation, surrender, and silence, I realized I had lost myself in service to others without nourishing my own soul. If you have walked such a dream, ask yourself, where am I, not in the world, but within. 4. The dream of fire. The purification has begun. Fire in a dream is holy. It is not just destruction. It is transformation. God often sends fire to cleanse you of what you will not release. Burning houses, flaming forests, a ring of fire around your feet. Do not fear it. I once dreamed that this monastery, the one you see behind me, was engulfed in flames. I panicked, but as the flames rose, I saw myself standing calmly in the center, untouched. The next day, I let go of my last worldly possession, a letter I had clung to for decades. Fire comes to burn away illusions, to show you that what is real cannot be destroyed. 5. The dream of a stranger speaking words you remember. Have you ever dreamt of a stranger speaking to you, and you remember their words upon waking, words that ring in your ears all day, even years later? You are not imagining it. God speaks through messengers, even in dreams. I call them light whisperers. They appear when you're ready, not before. A student of mine once told me, an old man in my dream said, "You are not your shame." Then he vanished. She had been carrying the weight of past choices, thinking herself unworthy of love. But that one dream unraveled years of inner punishment. If a stranger speaks to you in a dream, listen. Write it down. That may be your divine letter delivered in sleep. 6. The dream of flying. Your spirit is awakening to fly, to soar beyond rooftops and mountains, free and effortless. This is the sign that your spirit is remembering its true form. You are more than body, more than name. You are soul. God allows these dreams when you are ready to begin living lighter, freer, detached from what the world told you to be. I once had a child sit here beside me and whisper, "I flew last night over clouds." I felt God smile at me. Even the very young are visited by divine winds, perhaps especially them. 7. The dream of death. A new beginning in disguise. Dream of death, your own or another's, is not a warning, it is a gift. Death in dreams means something old is ending and something sacred is waiting. I knew a man who dreamt of his own funeral. He heard the chanting, he saw his body, and yet he felt peace. He awoke the next morning and quit his job. He had been dying in his spirit for years. That dream was permission to live again. So if you see death in your dream, do not panic. Instead, ask, what part of me is ready to be reborn? Now you know 7 sacred dreams that God uses, not to confuse you, but to awaken you. You are not just a dreamer, you are being spoken to because you are ready. You are the chosen one. Not because you are perfect, but because your heart is open enough to listen. Let this night be different tonight. Before you sleep, whisper to the divine, I am listening, and listen you shall. We have only just begun, dear soul. In the next part of this journey, I will share with you how to understand symbols inside these dreams and how to respond to them with grace. But for now, breathe, reflect. You are exactly where you are meant to be. You have returned, and that, in itself, is a sign that your soul is seeking deeper waters, that the questions you carry are no longer content with silence. In the previous part of our journey, I shared with you the sacred language of dreams, the whispers of God in the night, the kind of messages only a chosen one can feel beneath the surface of sleep. But understanding the message is only the beginning. Now comes the greater invitation. How do we respond? Today, I want to share with you the hidden symbols within these divine dream symbols, sent not just to inform you, but to transform you. And I will show you how to move from simply experiencing the dream to becoming its student. Let us walk deeper together. 1. The symbol of the door. A threshold awaits in many dreams. You may find yourself standing before a closed door. Sometimes it's wooden, ancient, heavy. Other times it glows with light or floats in an endless hallway. This is not just scenery. The door is the soul's symbol for a threshold moment. You are being asked to walk away from your old life and into your calling, but often we hesitate. We reach for the handle and pull back. Fear whispers, what's on the other side? But faith answers, what's behind you no longer fits. One of my students once dreamed of a golden door that hummed like music. Each night, he refused to open it until one night he found himself with no choice. The door opened on its own, and beyond it, a version of himself, calm, strong, and free. Your door may come in many forms, but always, it is your call to courage. 2. The symbol of the mirror. The unseen self appears. If you dream of looking into a mirror, pay close attention. Do you see your face? Is it clear, distorted, or someone else entirely? God often places a mirror in dreams not to reflect your image, but to reflect your truth. There was a woman who came to our monastery many years ago. She dreamed of a mirror, but each time she looked, she saw her younger self crying. It was not a memory. It was a message. She had abandoned her inner child, the one who still longed to be loved. After deep inner healing, she told me, for the first time, I looked in the mirror and saw a smile. If you see a mirror in your dreams, look closely. It may be showing you who you truly are, or who you've forgotten to be. 3. The symbol of light. Divine guidance in the darkness. Sometimes in your dream, a soft light appears. A glowing lantern, a beam from above, a single candle in endless darkness. This is the clearest sign of divine presence. In ancient scriptures, light is the language of God. When you see it in dreams, it means you are not alone. That guidance is near even if the path feels hidden. I had a vision once in a deep meditative dream. I was lost in a forest of shadows until a small blue flame appeared beside me. I followed it. It didn't speak, it simply moved forward, patient, steady. And when I awoke, I knew what to do next. If you've seen light in your dream, do not rush to chase it. Let it lead you within and without. 4. The symbol of the child, a reminder of innocence and purpose. Dream of a child, especially one who speaks to you or reaches for your hand, is one of the most sacred encounters. This is often the purest version of your soul, untouched by ego or fear. A man once shared a dream where a child kept tugging on his robe, saying, "Come play with me." He ignored it, and the child faded. After many sessions of reflection, he realized the child was not a stranger, it was him. He had forgotten joy, forgotten curiosity, forgotten the reason he once began his path. So when a child visits you in dreams, be still, they carry messages only the heart can hear. 5. The symbol of the animal, instincts, and divine archetypes. Animals in dreams are not random. Each carries meaning. A lion may appear when courage is needed, a snake when transformation is near, a bird when freedom is calling. When I was a novice monk, I had a recurring dream of an eagle soaring over mountains. Each time, I watched from below, until one night, I soared with it. It was only after embracing my spiritual calling, fully letting go of fear, doubt, hesitation, that the dream ceased. Animals are teachers from the inner realm. If one visits you in a dream, ask, what part of me does this creature reflect? 6. The symbol of water rising, a spiritual awakening begins. Water, as we've spoken, mirrors emotion. But when it begins to rise, covering feet, climbing up walls, lifting you into the sky, it speaks of an awakening you cannot stop. One pilgrim shared her dream of water rising over her home, swallowing her possessions, but lifting her high. She wept upon waking, not in fear, but in gratitude, for she realized she had clung too long to what no longer served her. If water rises in your dreams, it is not a flood of destruction, it is the river of rebirth. 7. The symbol of the voice, a direct message from the divinity. And finally, if in your dream you hear a voice, clear, calm, certain that voice is not your imagination. God speaks in stillness, and dreams are his sanctuary. A young man once came to me trembling. He had heard a voice in his dream say, "Forgive your father." It broke him. He had not spoken to his father in 20 years. He did, and reconciliation followed like spring after a long winter. So if a voice speaks to you in your dream, write it down, speak it aloud. Live it, if you dare. You see, dear one, dreams are not entertainment. They are enlightenment trapped in the softness of sleep. Every symbol is a gift, every vision, a mirror, every word, a path. And if you are watching this now, it means the divine has already begun to speak to you. You have already been chosen, not for perfection, but for awareness. Do not run from your dreams. Run toward them, for in them, God waits. In our next chapter together, I will teach you how to remember your dreams with clarity and how to interpret them with the tools of ancient wisdom. We will walk deeper into the art of decoding the sacred, but for now, breathe, honor the symbols. And tonight, sleep not as a wanderer, but as a student. So, you've returned once again. This is no coincidence. When a soul seeks the meaning of its own dreams, it is not merely searching for answers. It is preparing to awaken. We've already walked through the divine symbols God places before us during sleep, doors that beckon change, mirrors that reveal the truth, light that guides, and voices that call us to forgiveness and transformation. But now, dear one, we arrive at a sacred point in our journey, a place beyond symbolism, a place where the dream becomes an invitation. It is time you learn not just how to recognize these sacred dreams, but how to remember them, how to listen, and how to live them when you awaken. Let us sit together in this quiet and walk through the wisdom few dare to explore. 1. Why you forget divine dreams, and how to remember them. Many say to me, "Master, I feel like I dream deeply, but when I wake up, it all disappears like smoke." Yes, that is the nature of the soul, always speaking in whispers, never in shouts. But forgetting is not failure. It is simply a sign that you haven't yet built a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, and the bridge is built through ritual. Every great spiritual tradition has known this. When I was a young monk, my master gave me a journal and said, "Place this beside your bed every morning, write, even if you remember nothing, write." So I did, for weeks. I remembered only shadows and silence, but slowly the veil began to lift. A flash of color, a word spoken by a stranger, the touch of a familiar hand, and then, one morning, I remembered an entire journey, a conversation with my late teacher. His words clear as a bell, "Go teach what I taught you." That one dream changed my entire path. If you want to remember divine dreams, sleep in stillness. No loud noise, no harsh light, no distractions. Set an intention, whisper before sleep. Show me what I need to see. Place a journal beside your bed. Write the moment you awaken, even fragments matter, and most importantly, be patient. Dreams come to the faithful, not the hurried. 2. The 3 layers of a divine dream. As you begin to remember your dreams, you must learn to read them. Not all dreams are equal. Some are digestion of thought, others are sacred instructions. There are 3 layers to every divine dream. A. The outer layer, the narrative. This is the part of the dream that feels like a movie. You're walking through a forest, you're talking to someone, you're flying. This is what your mind presents: images, places, people. Do not become too obsessed with the drama. It is only the surface. B. The inner layer, the emotion. Ask yourself, how did I feel? Were you calm, afraid, liberated, confused? Emotion is the language of the soul. It will tell you what your spirit is trying to say, even if the scenes are strange. C. The core layer, the mesagethes, is the heart of it, beneath all symbols and stories. Every divine dream leaves behind one thing, a message, a knowing. It may be a command, let go, a revelation, you are ready, a comfort. You are not alone. When you wake and sit with your dream, don't just decode it, feel into it. The message will rise to meet you. 3. Dreams that are warnings. Pay close attention. Some dreams shake you awake. You wake up sweating, heart pounding, unsure whether you've had a nightmare or a prophecy. Let me be clear, not every frightening dream is evil. Sometimes it is God raising his voice because we would not hear his whisper. A student once dreamt of a bridge collapsing. As he walked across it, he laughed it off. But days later, he faced a moral dilemma at work, one that would compromise his integrity. He came back to me and said, that dream wasn't about death. It was about trust. I was about to cross a line I shouldn't. And so I tell you, when a dream leaves you shaken, don't run from it. Ask, what am I being warned about? What must I release? What path must I refuse to cross? Warning. Dreams are not punishments, they are protections. For dreams that reoccur, God is patient, but persistent. If a dream comes once, it may be a message. If it comes twice, it is urgent. If it repeats again and again, it is sacred instruction. There is an ancient belief that recurring dreams mean the soul has not yet completed a karmic lesson. I once had a dream, over and over, of sitting in an empty temple, waiting year after year, same dream, until I realized I was the one not entering. I was the one refusing the next level of service. I was the one keeping myself at the threshold. So I stepped forward, I accepted the role of teacher. And the dream never returned. Pay attention to what recurs. It is your soul's way of calling you home. 5. Living the dream. Carrying the message into waking life. Finally, a dream not lived is a gift unopened. God does not send you messages for your entertainment, He sends them for your elevation. So once the symbols are revealed, once the message is understood, ask yourself, what must I do differently today because of what I dreamed last night? Will you speak to someone you've avoided? Will you forgive someone you said you never would? Will you finally take that step your heart has whispered about? For years, you are not merely a dreamer, you are a listener, a translator, a doer. And the world needs more souls like you. You have walked a long road with me. And yet, the true path lies ahead. You now know how God speaks through your dreams. You've seen the symbols, you've learned how to listen, you've been given the tools to remember, reflect, and respond, but there is more. In our next meeting, we will enter the realm of prophetic dreams, dreams that reveal the future, that offer divine instruction for others, that awaken your spiritual gifts. You are not just a student anymore. You are becoming a messenger. Welcome back, seeker of dreams. You've walked with me through the silent language of sleep. You've heard how the divine speaks through symbols, through emotion, through lessons written in starlight, but now, you are ready to go deeper. Tonight, we explore the realm of prophetic dreams, dreams that do not merely speak to you. They speak through you. They are not just for your personal transformation, but for the elevation of others. Such dreams are not random. They arrive when the soul has ripened enough to carry spiritual responsibility. So if you've had them or you feel they are coming, then yes, you are being chosen. Let's sit with this truth together. 1. The weight of prophetic dreams. Why you were shown what others cannot see. Prophetic dreams are not fantasies. They are not simply predictions, they are spiritual assignments. When I first had one, I was only 17. I dreamt that a great fire swept through the valley near my monastery. People were running. I stood in the middle of it all, holding a bowl of water trying to calm the flames. When I awoke, I told no one. I was too young. I was afraid of sounding foolish, but 3 weeks later, a fire did break out in that very valley. Not of flames but of rage. Two neighboring villages were torn apart by old tensions. There was conflict, violence, hatred. And in that moment, I understood. The fire was not literal. The water was my presence, my peace. I was meant to be a calming voice. I went to those villages. I listened, I mediated, I helped them come back. Together, the dream became a directive. So I ask you now, if you've had dreams that come true, or dreams that pull you toward someone else's pain, someone else's need, someone else's path, do not dismiss them. You may have been chosen to serve. 2. How to know a dream is prophetic. Not personal. Line between a personal message and a prophetic message can be thin, but not invisible. Ask yourself these questions. Did the dream feel bigger than me? Did it seem to stretch beyond your personal concerns? Did I wake with a strong emotional charge? Clarity, peace, urgency rather than confusion? Prophetic dreams often arrive with a calm knowing. Did the dream involve others, a stranger, a group, or even a place you've never visited? This is often the Spirit's way of showing you that the message is for or through someone else. And here's the most important sign: when the dream refuses to leave you. When it lingers, stays in your heart for days, weeks, or years, that is God's echo. 3. Why God chooses you, the humble vessel. You may wonder, why me? I'm not a prophet. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. But those are exactly the people God chooses. When I asked my teacher long ago, why do some people receive divine dreams while others don't? He smiled and said, because they're listening. Because they are willing to remember. You see, God does not look for perfect mouths, He looks for open hearts. He seeks those who will not exploit the dream, but protect it. So if you have been trusted with a message, even if it is one you don't understand yet, honor it, write it down, pray over it, ask for clarity, not comfort. The humble vessel carries the clearest water. 4. How to deliver a dream meant for someone else. Know this takes discernment. It is not enough to simply blurt out what you dreamt. For a dream to reach the soul of another, it must be shared in love, not ego. Here is how you do it. Pray first. Ask, is this the right time to share? Am I meant to speak this, or simply hold it in prayer? Speak with gentleness. You might say, I had a dream that I feel may be connected to you. I share it with love, not certainty. Never demand interpretation. Sometimes the dream is a seed. The other person must discover its meaning in their own way. Let it go. Once you've shared, don't cling to the outcome. It is not your job to convince. It is your job to deliver. That is all. I've Seen lives transformed by a single shared dream. I've also seen dreams held in silence, simply kept in the heart until the right season came. Both are sacred. 5. When prophetic dreams are about your future, yes, sometimes the dreams speak of your own path ahead, not just as a guide, but as a preparation. You may dream of walking through doors you've never seen. You may see yourself in another country, speaking to strangers. You may even dream of dying not in fear, but in transition. These dreams are not always meant to be understood in the moment. They are breadcrumbs, clues. They are the spirit saying, stay ready, I am leading you somewhere. I once dreamt of a small child handing me a white stone. Years later, during a retreat, a child I had never met walked up to me with a white pebble in hand. She said, "This is for you. You look like someone who prays." I wept because I had seen it before, and in that moment, I knew I was exactly where I was meant to be. So when your dreams speak of your own future, don't rush to analyze. Be still, trust. Walk with reverence, and the path will unfold. You understand that your dreams are not merely internal illusions, they are sacred maps. They are echoes of where you've been, where you are going, and who you are becoming. But there is one final lesson still to be revealed. In our next gathering, we will go beyond dreams into the waking life, into the signs that God plants in your path while your eyes are wide open. You will learn to dream with your feet on the earth. Welcome again. You've walked with me through the veils of sleep. You've learned to listen with your inner ear, to trust the sacred messages whispered in the night. But now, beloved seeker, we come to the final lesson in this chapter, the dream that wakes. While you are still awake, you see, not all divine communication comes in sleep. Some dreams arrive in the brightness of day, not as visions, but as nudges, not as images, but as pulls in your chest. This is what the mystics call living awake. 1. When life becomes the dream, signs in the everyday. Have you ever walked into a room and felt something familiar though you've never been there before? Have you heard a phrase from a stranger that answered a question you've been silently carrying? Have you seen the same number, word, or symbol over and over again, as if the universe itself is winking at you? These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. One day, I was walking down a mountain path after morning prayer. I had been asking the divine a question all week. Am I still walking the path you've chosen for me? That morning, a single butterfly pure white landed on my shoulder. It stayed with me, riding the wind as I walked for almost a full minute. Now to many, this is nothing, but I knew. In my heart, I heard it. You are becoming. Keep walking. When your soul is sensitive, God no longer needs to shout. He speaks through wind, wings, whispers, and wonder. 2. Daydreams and spiritual restlessness. The hidden language of calling. Let me ask you something. Dear one, what have you been daydreaming about lately? Not idle fantasies, but those recurring thoughts you can't shake. A new place, a new way of living, a deeper way of serving. You see, when the soul is being pulled toward its next level, the mind often begins to wander toward what's possible. You may feel a restlessness. You may wake up one morning and say, I don't know what it is, but something has to change. This, too, is a dream, a waking dream. It's your spirit stirring. It's your higher self whispering, there is more. Come and see. 3. People as mirrors, divine encounters in human form. Sometimes God doesn't speak through symbols or feelings. Sometimes He walks right into your life wearing human skin. Have you ever met someone just once, and they left an imprint on your soul so deep you couldn't explain it? A woman I met during my travels in Tibet said only one thing to me: you are light in places people don't even realize they're in the dark. She walked away. I never saw her again, but her words cracked something open in me. I stopped hiding. I stepped fully into my role as a teacher, a healer, a guide. So I ask you now, who has God sent into your path lately? Who has awakened something in you that you didn't know was sleeping? These are divine appointments. Cherish them, honor them. Listen. 4. Pain as a messenger. The sacred discomfort. Let's not ignore the uncomfortable dreams, the ones that don't come as peace or clarity, but as pain. Yes, pain can be a dream, too, a message too sacred to ignore. The breakup that shook your identity, the job you lost without warning, the betrayal that cracked your heart open like a temple torn at the veil. These moments aren't punishments, they are provisions. They are the divine's way of saying, you were building your life on something that could not carry your destiny. So when life breaks you, let it. But listen to the silence that follows. It often holds your true beginning. 5. Becoming the dream. You are the answer you've been waiting for. Finally, I must tell you this: you are not just the dreamer, you are the dream itself. Yes, you are the sacred message. You are the sign someone else has been waiting for. You were placed here not just to receive light, but to be light. Every time you choose kindness over comfort, stillness over chaos, wisdom over reaction, you live the dream God had when He made you. And perhaps that is the greatest dream of all. And now, beloved one, you have heard the language of dreams, felt the signs in your waking life, and remembered that even your pain is divine instruction. You have walked the sacred path between night and day, between what is hidden and what is revealed. You are not who you were when we began. You are now awake. But one final whisper remains. In our last and final gathering, I will share with you the seventh and most powerful dream of all, a dream you've already had but may not yet remember. Prepare your heart, still your mind. The last revelation awaits. You've come far, haven't you? From shadows to stars, from confusion to clarity, from sleeps into sacred awareness. Now, beloved seeker, it's time for the final dream, the one that holds them all, the one that most never realized they've had. This is the dream of return. 7. The dream of return, remembering who you truly are, is a moment in every soul's journey when the veil between illusion and truth becomes thin, so thin you can almost see through it. In that moment, you don't just see God's message, you become it. And it often comes in a dream so gentle, so quiet, you might dismiss it as ordinary. You might see yourself as a child again, running through a golden field, no fear, no shame, no doubt. You might dream of a place you've never been, but that feels more like home than anything on earth. You might hear a voice in the dream say, "Welcome back, you've always been loved." This is the dream of return, not a return to a place, but to a knowing, a memory too ancient for the mind, but too sacred for the soul to forget. It's the moment you remember that you were never separate, never lost, never broken, only asleep. The truth behind all 7 dreams you see. Each of the 7 dreams is not just a message, it's a mirror reflecting back to you the parts of your divine nature you've forgotten in the noise of this world. The dream of falling, it was trust. The dream of being chased, it was facing your fear. The prophetic dream, it was alignment. The visitation, that was guidance. The repeating symbol, that was awakening. The waking dream, that was purpose. And now this final dream, that is remembrance. And when you remember who you are, you no longer need the dream, because you've become the message. A final story from my journey. Once met an old man in the Himalayas, nearly blind, silent, and still as a stone. He spoke only one sentence to me during our time together. He said, "All dreams are God's way of reminding you what you forgot the moment you were born." And with that, he smiled, closed his eyes, and slipped back into his own silence. I didn't understand then, but now, years later, I know he was talking about the soul's amnesia. And the dreams, they are the breadcrumbs back to our source. They are the whispers calling us home. Your life is the greatest dream. You were never meant to live a life of sleepwalking. You were meant to live wide awake, to feel deeply, to walk slowly, to listen closely, to love fully. This life, this moment, right now is the dream. And your awareness of it is what makes it holy. So what will you do, chosen one? Now that you've remembered, what will you become now that you know? Not just that God is speaking to you, but that God is within you. The dream isn't over. In fact, it's only just beginning. Thank you for walking this sacred path with me. You've listened with your heart. You've journeyed through mystery. You've awakened through the veil. May every dream that visits you now be received not with fear, but with faith. Not with doubt, but with devotion. Not as confusion, but as confirmation of who you are becoming. Rest well, beloved soul. And when you dream again tonight, listen, God is still speaking. And now, you remember how to hear him. If this message stirred something within you, don't ignore it. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs divine clarity right now. Comment "I am awake" if you are ready to receive your divine dream tonight.